The best podcast in the world is starting a new year. Give it to me, Steele.
Yeah. And another thing, Foots, let me tell you. No, I'm just playing.
Listen to me.
Happy New Year, folks. Yeah. I'm excited to start this thing off officially with some goats here for 2026.
Hey, man, it's a blessing, man. First show of the year, man. Do we start over or we continue the episodes?
Oh, we keep going, man. Episode 3.
We're going to get to episode 164 where we're blaming the new defensive coordinator.
164. You got it right.
Nintendo.
Shows that. No, hey, man, I got to say this. We should have did this on the last show, but New Year, I got to say, when somebody put together that montage of us, it's like, y'all, we really been grinding this thing out and building this thing up. And it has become a weekly part of, like, I don't think just our lives, but like the people who actually like build and grow with the Cowboys. So, man, thankful for you guys. We got a year in, and I hope that the Cowboys Collective keeps growing because it has been growing in. I mean, let's be real, to be able to get gems from John within the locker room. I mean, y'all as a fan base are blessed because you getting those gems. Obviously, Sky with the research that he does, my opinions that may be right or wrong, and then you get the best voice in the Cowboys land in law.
Appreciate it, man.
So
and remember.
Hey John, and remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
hey, man,
I think I'm good now, y'all.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, I saw this guy.
I'm having issues, so just in case.
It's all good, man. Happy New Year's. I've been watching football all day. I don't know if you guys have watched football yesterday. We got a lot to talk about, but this show may not be quite as structured as always. We'll let John go. They did practice today, correct, John?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, John, what's going on, boots on the ground? I mean, I think probably the big item is maybe Eberflus's last time. Oh, yeah, Bronson on the ground.
Yeah,
Bronson on the ground. You're right. I'm sorry about that, Law. Got the hat on.
We're rocking them Brunts every day in this cold weather, bro. It's freezing out there.
Hey, dumb cold.
It's stupid
still
right now. I can't stand it because I want to do stuff with my Bucks, and it's just cold as hell outside.
I wanted to take my son to the park today, and it was the water outside is like you had that little shine.
Like, black ice.
Black ice, bro.
Mess with that.
Yeah, bro. So So Bronson on the ground, John.
You Law.
Oh, man, it's
you hear these two?
it's bipolar weather, man. It's
70 degrees in Dallas.
70. It got warm today. It was kind of cool last night, but it was warm that earlier. So I don't know, man. Bipolar Texas weather.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with that being said, John, what are you hearing? Obviously, Eberflus, he said he wouldn't change anything, which is like, brother. John, what are you hearing?
I got some on that too.
I just think that he doesn't want to admit, he doesn't want, acknowledge publicly, like to a certain level. I think a lot of coaches, players, personnel staff, and that are prideful, and they're like, I'm not going to tell you guys this stuff, like they'll tell it to other people that are in the business, but they're not going to air that stuff out. They're also not going to throw any players under the bus, even though, it's obvious that, like a player like Trayvon Diggs, you don't have to say anything. The actions speak louder than words. He clearly was not a fit. He didn't care to really be a fit in what they were doing. And obviously they didn't feel like he was a fit, but yeah. So the specific quote of him saying, I don't think I'd do anything differently. To put it in context, it is in the middle of a very lengthy answer. And he talked for, I don't know, about 12 minutes and didn't say very much. And I would say 70-80% of the questions were about his job. There would be like there'd be a question here and there, obviously about Logan Wilson. Maybe there was a couple questions about the game this week. And then I asked about Diggs, but other than that, it was more about like kind of a, hey, this is probably last time we're going to get to talk to you, at the very least this season. And so he knew going in. I mean, there was a couple of answers he gave where he even said, he goes, I knew you guys were going to ask about this or whatever like that. So, but he didn't really give you anything exact to where you're like, oh yeah, he's acknowledging that this was the issue. Like, I get it that there were some, tweets put out there about how that make it sound like he really pointed at that Micah thing. You have to do a lot of reading between the lines because first of all, you'd be out of your mind if you think today was like the first day he was asked about, how much did it hurt you not having Micah to start the season? He's been asked that all throughout the season. Let's not act like the defense was ever playing good where that question would go away. So that was constantly being brought up. And so, yeah, you can read between the lines. But I honestly think you can take Mike out of it. It would just been like if you traded any good player at the beginning of the season they thought he was going to have, he would have said what he said today. There was nothing like real definitive about it that I saw Micah responded to it, but it was nothing like
popcorn.
Yeah, it was just it was nothing out there where I was just like, oh, he finally admitted it that that Jerry put him in a bad spot by trading Micah. He's never definitively said that. So that one part though is the part that will stand out the most.
Before you go on, John,
yeah,
I do find it funny that Flus says publicly, I wouldn't change, which I think is more PC talk, right? But non-PC, just last year, almost at the same exact date, correct me if I'm wrong, could be the same, not exact date, but time frame. Zimmer goes up there and they ask him, and Zimmer says, I really wish I could have did things my way early on.
Yeah.
It was the exact opposite.
Yep.
So I just find that very fascinating that, and both coordinators didn't have the success that they wanted to have. Now, Zim had more success, I think, in spurts throughout the season than Flus, but I just find it fascinating that Zim said, yeah, I wish I did things differently. I wish I did it my way earlier. And I think he's a little older, a little bit more get off my yard, get off my yard type than Flus may be. But I just found that interesting that Flus went up and gave the PC answer. In reality, probably wishes he could have done things differently.
Yeah, and I always wonder why that is. Like, are you not trying to say anything bad because you're trying to set yourself up for the next job? Because I think there's a part of me right now where I'm kind of like, if they do part ways with him, like I expect them to do, like, what is his next job? Like, is he getting, it's so bad this year that I find it hard to believe he's getting another DC NFL job right now. So then is he going to coach linebackers and just how bad the linebacker play was this year and stuff? Is he at the point where, hey, maybe I want to take a year off? A lot of people thought that he would do that after Chicago because of how things went, in his 3 years with the Bears. So yeah, there just wasn't a lot that, I mean, like, obviously questions come up about, maybe you should have made more adjustment type thing.
Right.
And the way he'll answer that is he'll say about like, yeah, we moved to that 5-man front, we made adjustments and stuff like that. And it's just like, that's part of it, but I also would say that even the team in whatever sport that makes the least amount of adjustments could come up with one or two, what I'm saying, over a long season. And so I will just say this
comes to mind.
To put a bow on all of it. I will say this from being in the room, the tenor, what he was saying, at no point did I feel like it was coming from somebody who was just like, yeah, guys, ask me these questions. It's fine. Like, I'm not going anywhere. You guys can think that or whatever. It was very much like he knows what's going on, And I really felt that too on Jerry's radio interview on Tuesday when he was trying to like say, hey, this isn't just Matt or whatever. It was like he was trying to kind of give it a soft landing, kind of like how that statement came out almost a year. Yeah, it was last January. The Mike McCarthy, hey, we both sides agreed to part ways and stuff like that. And it's like everybody knows that if you've been in any type of business, that it's not mutually. Somebody wanted someone else to stay a little bit more than the other person did. So, but I would say that was the biggest thing. And then out of locker room, I was just going to add in probably just George Pickens talking about his contract. Because again, this will probably be the last time he talks about it until they go in the offseason. And he said he is prepared to talk with Jerry about his contract, but you can tell kind of like how Jerry, I said last show, was a one-on-one. Micah's a one-on-one too, where George doesn't really seem like the type of guy that's like, yeah, I want to be heavily involved. It's like, yeah, I'll talk to Jerry, but my guys will be the ones, David Mulligetta, et cetera, will be the ones that are the ones that handle it all. I'm not going to get myself involved in all of that. And so, but he did say he is ready to talk but he's been very good about not giving you very much. He's been all throughout the season very open about how he wants to stay in Dallas. He'd like to be back here. But I just think having the season he's had, I think it's going to be hard for him to be cool with $28 million franchise tag when I think there's 12 receivers right now making north of 28. He's probably going to want to be north of 30. And so I could see them getting something done, even if it is north of 30. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I just think we've just seen too much track record. I think it all starts with a franchise tag that maybe gets to the point where they work it out. But, David Mulligetta said, I just wrote a story for tomorrow about George talking about his contract. And I dug up David's quote on that couple days, maybe it was the next day after Micah was traded. And I don't know if you guys remember how David went on First Take on ESPN.
Right,
and he was asked about George. And man, the quote's great because he basically says, he's like, we expect George to have a great year and be a star and be whatever. And we want him to be a star with a star in his helmet. But if that doesn't happen, then we'll go in another direction, whatever. And I mean, George has held up his side of it. But in that interview, David said that there's no hard feelings, that won't affect him going forward. And then when I asked Jerry after the game, it was like October 2nd, about, there's a lot of people that think this is probably not going to be a smooth transition into this contract because of the issues you had with David. And Jerry continued to be adamant about how it really wasn't as much about David as people think. It's that the way that things were between him and Micah are why it ended the way that it did. And so I don't get the sense that if George tries to go to Jerry or Jerry walks up to George, let's say one day at the facility or something in a month, I don't get the sense that George is going to want to go blow for blow with Jerry about particulars on a contract. And I do believe, not that this is right, but I do believe that Micah did. That was like, no. Let's get down to it. Let's get into guarantees and all that.
Right.
And Jerry's probably like, all right, you want to do that? All right, let's do that then or whatever. And I think Micah all along was like, yeah, but at the end, still David will come in and finish it off, where Jerry took it as like, no, you want to do this? Let's do this. Let's get this done. We'll get it done with a handshake back in March. And obviously that didn't happen, and it just kept getting worse and worse. So I hate to sit there and say that I don't see that happening with George, because it could. But I think Micah's a little bit more of a one-off than the one where you're like, oh, well, then, hell, here's the next contract. I mean, Jerry has paid a lot of guys.
It definitely is a one-off because it was personal between that, where it didn't need to be personal for contracts to drag out here in Dallas. They've always, for the most part, have dragged out just doing standard business. But I tell you what, this Pickens one, this is interesting time frame because the Cowboys don't want to have to be, sacked with a $28 million cap hit to start free agency. And that's what will happen, like right off the bat, if you franchise tag him. And as fans, we don't want them to use that as an excuse, because that's what will happen. Hey, man, we had to tag Pickens. We can't really use that money to get free agents. We got to do this and got to do that. Nah, man, get this thing done so we can go into free agency and other buttons they'll press with a clean slate to be aggressive and not hear the same old same. But boy, we've been down we've been down here before. Hopefully they switch up.
And George's personality is nothing like how Micah. I mean, like even today with Micah fired off those tweets and stuff like that. Like that's just not George. I don't see him really getting in the George thing. Will be he just won't. You won't hear anything from him.
It's not. They're not. He hasn't been here long enough for it to be personal enough. But if it had been. Yeah, we've seen George on Instagram. Right.
Get
a little personal for you. So, fortunately for everybody, this should be easier, a lot less personal. Agent to Jerry, get this thing done. But I got a weird feeling it ain't gonna get done till like June, July.
And the crazy thing about it is that we'll see it a mile before it happens, right? Because of the fact they got to move money around. We will see that they'll restructure a lot of contracts. Yeah. So we will say, hey, they moving this money around for something. Who's about to get signed or what's about to happen? And if I'm the Cowboys this offseason, I'm not playing around with trying to draft a edge rusher. I'm trying to move money around to do this. Sign Max Crosby, take a real good look at the other guy that played for the Cincinnati Bengals. Trey. Just bring him in for a cup of coffee, and then ultimately signing George Pickens. That should be their finite thing going into this offseason.
When we have to trade for Max, though, correct? He's still
you have to trade for Max. You can't sign. You can sign Hendrickson, but you can't sign Max. You got to trade him.
I would entertain Trey. I think he still play, but
incentive-based deal.
I think the grand slam would be signing Max Crosby for sure, but.
Trey. Last thing I just wanted to add, George, I just feel like they've done so much this year that as long as the money is respectful, they're not trying to be like, we want you to take $25 million a year or something. All right. So as long as it's respectful, I could see George wanting to be here because of he has had that experience with Pittsburgh, which he clearly did not like. He didn't like the way everything went there. And I understand that the Cowboys aren't in the playoffs, but there is a lot of stuff on the offense for him to like and for people in the building to like that, hey, even like the little things that didn't go right. It's not like the offense was perfect, that you're like, oh, they can build on a lot of this stuff. Like there's a reason you want to be back to it. Whereas like even in Micah's case, I could see a little bit of Micah, not that this happened, but a little bit like third DC, 4 years. All right, cool. Sweet, guys. This is great. Another new scheme for me to run. But I also maintain, like I've said before, Mike is still in Dallas. The way this whole thing went down, he's still doing the podcast. There would have been multiple post games. The one that stands out to me recently, I was talking to somebody about this. You're not going to have Brian Flores doing what he's doing in that Minnesota game. And Micah goes on the podcast on Monday and doesn't bring up how much he loves what Brian Flores is doing.
Right.
Not directly saying anything about Matty Eberflus, but 10 minutes of praising Brian Flores. That's what Micah would have done.
I'm with you. I think he would have got fired. I think Micah would have got Flus fired, whether it be directly or indirectly from the podcast.
That's true, because he would have 40+ million that you'd be paying him. So maybe.
Just to touch on this real quickly with George Pickens, would you give him like a twin contract of what CeeDee Lamb got? Since CeeDee Lamb contract now is dated, is it dated a little bit? Is it 2 years, 3 years old now?
It's a couple years.
What do you get? 32?
No, they got that last year.
Well, he got it last year, but it's dated now. It's not due to inflations and all of that.
Yeah, it's been 2 seasons he played on it. Essentially, what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah. So his average, CD's average is 34.
34. All right.
I think
I don't know if
that puts him third.
30.
Yeah, Jamar and Justin Jefferson are the only ones that are ahead of him.
Yeah, I don't know if he. I think I'll be more in the 30. Yeah, like
33.
Yeah, I feel like 30. He could get it done. Now David Mulugeta might try to push for a little more, but I feel like if they can,
Ayuk's at 30 though. That's the only
Ayuk's
right there.
That's where I started.
But Ayuk's resume, I think, was grander at the time.
For sure.
The good thing with Pickens is his age, and he's coming off one of the best years, not just best years, but one of the best football wide receiver years in the league. So he still can command 30+, sure.
I think they're going to try to get him to 1,500.
AJ Brown's at 32, and Devontae's at 25. So yeah, I would have to be above them.
Yeah.
I think this Giants game, they're eyeing trying to get him just for a little bone, try to get him to 1,500 yards. I don't know if it'll happen, but he's right there.
I just looked over. Somebody's talking about, he only has 1 Pro Bowl. When you're that young and you're that good, you're not paying for past production. You're also paying for what you can do in the future. So there's no way you can go to me at the negotiation table and say, you only have 1 good year. Yeah, it just happened. And I'm 25. So what is that supposed to mean? I don't care. Or not 1 good year, but 1 Pro Bowl year. That doesn't mean anything. Moving forward.
He has not. I don't think that George Pickens, honestly, he hasn't reached who he is going to be. I mean,
it's too easy to be like, well, I can give you context to why I played in Pittsburgh with Duckworth. Right. So what are we talking about?
No, if you tell me Dak stays healthy and Pickens and CD stay healthy, they got potential to be even better than this year, and that they both put up monster like top 5 or 6 receiver numbers, And
I think CD and his relation, I think he wants to get this done. Now, I think Jerry would have to be a complete douche for things to go north, because Jerry has had some of those moments, but I think he wants to be with CD and he wants to be here because, like Scott has said, he's seen the other side. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen the way that he plays, especially like they don't move him inside a lot. I'm not going to say he needs an accurate quarterback, but he had literally his best year with this quarterback in this scheme. So it really is a perfect marriage. He made a lot of plays in Pittsburgh, but you all also knew, like, he was
limited, man, with quarterbacks and all of that. But I get exactly what you're saying.
I completely agree. So, John, let me ask you this. We said that we didn't see Law said he didn't see the Micah thing coming. Would there be anything that can make it go south? Because I'm just trying to think. I didn't see the Micah deal not getting signed. Just being honest, like, I don't want to be a front runner and be like, oh, they did the right thing, because we sat on this show. Oh, they'll get it done. Boom, he's traded to the Packers. So
my answer to you is fits perfectly with what I wrote today because I ended my story with Dak's quote when he was asked what advice he would give to George. And it was a long answer. It's probably like 10 sentences, but his first sentence and his last sentence were both, don't let it get personal. And if we go back to Micah, I can tell you vividly, David Mulligetta didn't say anything publicly. And I know this because when I saw him go on First Take, I don't remember what I was even doing that day, but I was just like, hold up.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Let me rewind this back. I need to watch this whole thing because, and honestly, after Dak signed his first one, they did a press conference at the Star, and over kind of by where like the Super Bowl trophies are, there's like 6 or 7 of us that got Todd France. And I just remember being like, wow, Todd never talks, but now the contract's over, so that they will talk. So that's why that's not unheard of then. But I'm bringing this up to say that the agents aren't the ones talking during this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not the ones that are doing that. They are the ones that they are more behind the scenes. Micah was the one that wanted to be out there with this. And I get where he's coming from, and it worked out for him in terms of the money he got. I'm just saying that I don't see George doing a lot of that stuff. I can see him getting pissed off. Maybe he fires off a single tweet, like the Richard Sherman one or something like that, takes it down a little bit later. But for Micah to put out that screen grab of like those paragraphs when we were out at training camp, there were just things about that where I was like, I don't know if there's coming back from this. And then again, if George wants to like lay on the training table and do a bunch of stuff like that to like, give the middle finger to Jerry and stuff like that, then maybe it could. I just don't see George doing that. That's just not his personality,
I think it'll look like CD Lamb. CD had one tweet. He put, I think, cap. Like something happened, some weird media thing came out, and CD said cap, right? And then didn't tweet again about it. But he also didn't show up to camp. And that's something I had said both privately and publicly. Privately to Micah's folks, and publicly was like, he shouldn't have showed up. Like I understand what he was trying to do because he said, I want to be there for my teammates and everything, and it was fine on and dandy. But what he didn't realize was that ain't matter. It does not matter when it comes to these negotiations, And he could probably say, well, he told me they wanted more of this, and I did it, but nothing happened with that. So just don't show up. Don't come to camp. Don't and I think it'll eventually get done, like CD.
The hardest part of it all was the year Dak was trying to get his money. And, everybody was saying these 3 right now can all not show up and something was going to happen. But, Dak Prescott, he shows up every time.
Dak had mad leverage. See, they could have franchise tagged CD Lamb. They could franchise tag Michael Parsons. They could franchise tag Pitt. Dak, like, why would I not show up? I can't get tagged. I could go into free agency clean. Whether I get hurt or not, I'm getting the bag. Those dudes, the only leverage they had was to not show up.
To not show up.
The other thing, and I'm not just saying this because of the injury this year, but the shelf life is just so much longer on a quarterback. How many contracts you're gonna get? Whereas, like, there's a part of me that understands where Mike is coming from because of, and I'm saying this before even, with his injury that he just suffered. That position, his size, the beating he's taken for being like a linebacker, off the ball linebacker size guy playing defensive end, going against offensive tackles all the time. I get where he was coming from on that because you don't know how long his prime year is going to be. Are they going to be 5, 8, possibly, maybe 10, but they also could be 4, and you don't know that. So that's the only reason with his contract, specifically with the DNs, where I get why he wanted to wait out.
Right. And as a prime example, even though he got the $47 million, I don't think he get $47 million if he just played this season, right? And it's time to get the contract. I don't think that someone would say, we'll pay the 47. So that's why you hold out. That's why you fight for your money.
Yeah, I heard it was like 42, 42.5 would have got it done, something like that for Dallas. Yeah.
Right. Even that, I don't think.
Which obviously shows you that whatever Jerry wants to say.
So you're
willing to pay 42.
I disagree, Law. He would have got paid.
I'm trying to make sure I got this right. You're saying if Micah played this season again and had another Pro Bowl, All-Pro year, breaking the records and stuff, he would not get the 40 plus, 42 plus.
Right. They probably would have hold that against him or something like that because what he had on the table, the 5th-year option tag that he
you mean in Dallas? You're saying Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas in general.
I thought you were
5th-year option.
Yeah. He was on the 5th year.
Like this was his 5th year option. He would have been. They would have had to tag him. Yeah.
Right. And he would. he wouldn't have gotten the contract that he got. Yeah.
Oh, you know how messy that would have been if he just quote unquote played, didn't get the extension, and we go into this next year. Yeah, no, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general. But it is.
No. I get what you're saying, Lo. I was thinking that you were saying that a team wouldn't pay. I was about to say,
no,
team would have paid.
Yeah.
But to me, it's all about, and like speaking to CeeDee Lamb, 6 straight seasons, 1,000 yards, pretty good. No, 5 straight 1,000 yards. Yep. That's pretty good, man. He's still, I think, getting better. I think sports and all of this stuff comes down to who you are. Like even with the Diggs situation, right? Somebody brought this up to me with Micah and them letting go of Micah. It was a meeting. Mm-hmm. I didn't know, John, that they had a players meeting, letting them know that they were going to let him go and this, that, and third with Diggs. And I just say all this to say, I still believe that Micah was able to do some of this stuff. And let me say not do some of this stuff, but the training camp stuff, I agree with Sky. He probably shouldn't have came, but he did it because Micah is Micah. He is a all-pro that I would still like to have on this team. Diggs, not so much. I mean, he was good in 2021, but it just started to fade.
Not on the
so it's
same
just
planet.
That's a long-winded way of saying, right. And I'm sorry that I just took up a minute of y'all's time, but it's literally here and here, like for me. And even like with him going to Green Bay and all the Twitter back and forth, I'm just kind of thinking to myself, like, well, this really sounds like an 18-day rental. I don't know if Green Bay is going to give him a new contract. Really don't care, but it's just funny how it all works. Now, Sky, you said something about free agency, and I wanted to ask you guys, how long, because we're going to start transitioning now into, the offseason. How long does this team need to take to hire a defensive coordinator? And there's a reason why I asked this, but I want your guys' answer. I don't think this in drag. I remember the Shoddy hire dragged all the way up into the Senior Bowl, and I feel like that was a little too long. I think this is the most important offseason the Cowboys have had probably in the last 5 to 10 years, John. It has to be sharp, concise with who and what they want to be. How long does this DC search need to go on, guys?
Let me know who you want to go first.
Mm-hmm. I'll be quick. I'll say this. I don't think it's going to take long because I feel like they're dropping the breadcrumbs earlier than they did with McCarthy last year. I felt like they were legitimately not confused, but not sure what they wanted to do. And you heard it in just the interviews and things like that. And then obviously the coaching decision dragged for what, a week and a half or something like that, 2 weeks, whatever it was. You hear Jerry already frustrated. Mm-hmm. You hear it. The head coach going into the meetings, the head coach now coming out basically, talking about the defense. They are dropping the breadcrumbs that he even said something's going to happen. Pronto was the word. Now, maybe that was Diggs, but I do think I'm with you. They need to do it quickly, and I think they will. It would shock me if it's not done within 48 hours of the season closing. Shock me.
Right.
Hold on, Sky. Cut the firing or the new hiring?
The firing.
Okay,
the firing.
Yeah. John Machota is going to be very busy because this is what I want.
This tweet's going to be spanking.
I want it to be just like this. I want them to. You said the Black Monday.
Black Monday. It should happen Black Monday if we're keeping it above.
Yeah. And it should be.
If it's Brian Flores, I'll be glad.
Oh, we go all.
Give me all the problems.
Law.
Come on.
I will be waiting on a Sky documentary.
I was just about to say, now if it's blind, I'll put that Homer hat right back on my head, Foots.
I was at the grocery store when that Diggs news broke, and I literally put my stuff down and wrote 500 words on my phone, and I don't mind that at all. Like when there's something going on that's big and stuff like that, I don't complain at all. I hate when there's nothing going on, or it's a move that happens. You're just that's the DC you hired, really?
Yeah. Really? Come on,
guys.
They can't mess this.
Breaking news: the Cowboys signed Lovie Smith.
Thing. I mean, because there's so many similarities to me for this being Mike Nolan. It's the first year of the head coach. Mm-hmm. This was Mike McCarthy's guy. Was Mike Nolan? It was an epic disaster. We can't even go in that direction. We have to go, and we cannot miss the second time. Then they got Dan Quinn, and I feel like this is set up to be there too.
Yeah. It should be. It should be. Next week we should be hearing, hey, the Cowboys bringing this coach in for an interview. It should be interviewing, and this is what I want the Cowboys to do. Just like when we make it to the postseason, there's always somebody interviewing our secondary coach or our assistant coach or DC. We need to start doing that too. We need to pick up the phone and just bring in somebody from 49ers, bring in somebody from the Eagles, bring in somebody just to interview, all of those teams that's been in our backsides, the Lions, everybody, bring those guys in for an interview. That's what we should be doing next week and beyond.
Hold on.
Honestly,
you said they've been in our what?
You
our
guys
what
are
side?
You
putting
guys
their foot in our backside. Yeah. Pause if necessary.
I know I'm going against everything I said, but
yeah.
I don't even care if they interview anybody else. If you just tell me that they've already got a deal done with Flores, okay. I really don't care. I really don't.
John might know
what he said at his it didn't sound.
It did not sound like he was coming back.
Come on now.
I don't know. I don't know if
when you talk about leaving the door open, John.
Yeah.
That boy kicked it open.
Yeah, I don't know if that's these contract offers you guys have been making me are real bad. So let me go out here and say some stuff right now. But it did not sound like he was going to definitively be coming back.
That was such a PR home run. Like, because he didn't talk bad about Minnesota. Said, I love it here. I would love this and that and this, but business this and business that. He's telling Minnesota, up your money.
Yeah.
You got to come with the bag. If not, I will go where the bag's at. And that's where we go to Jerry and say, you got to open up them pocketbooks, man.
So he said that. I'm gonna go try to find that.
It was
good. It gave me. Now look, he might not come here, but it gave me confidence that he is willing to move on, probably as a DC too. Yeah. I think he understands. Head coach might not be the thing right now because he's still under the whole suing the NFL thing going on right now.
Stephon Gilmore spoke out recently and said, "Yeah, if
we go to
Cowboys give Brian Flores, they will be contenders." So. Yeah.
Think about it.
That makes sense.
Never mind. I won't put this out there. But
Brian Flores gets in there and all of a sudden he's like, guys, I know you don't do this around here, but we're going to make an investment at safety. All right. Yeah. And they're like, wait, we're going to do what?
What?
Hey, I'm telling you, man, like watching that game, I know you saw it, Sky. The way
Save it, John. No, I got a whole segment for you, John. Okay. Save it. I know what you're about to say.
No, I'm not going to talk about that. I was going to say the way that just watching that game against Minnesota, how much Harrison Smith would be up on the line of scrimmage, and you're just like, oh, there's no safety help, and then as soon as they snap the ball, he just drops right back, and I was just like, what he adds to that defense, what makes it so difficult to just predetermine what they're going to do. I am saying if he was the DC they hired, that they would make a bigger investment in safety because that is an important part of what he does.
This is why I think you're 100% right. They did the same thing with DQ with a different position. It didn't work.
Yeah.
But DQ got here, and for the first time in 20 years, they drafted a legitimate nose tackle. They hadn't done that. And then they drafted another one in 2023, was it? Or whichever the year was for Mozzie Smith, 21, 22, I'm sorry. Whatever year it was. They drafted Mozzie Smith for the first time. They drafted a defensive tackle, period, in round one since Russell Maryland. And then they drafted a big heavy for the first time since like 2000 when they took Quentin Bohanna in the 6th round. So if he comes in there and says premium on safeties, Jerry will say, cool, let's do it. So,
and I think I'm going to ask you guys probably next week, once we start getting news, to come with who you want to be hired and your rhyme and reason and going a deep thought on it. But I mean, the reason why I asked how fast we think it would be, because you also have to get, like you just said, Scott, what groceries does this guy want? Where does he want to eat at? Because I truthfully believe you're looking for a guy who can make the most out of, I won't say, well, let's just say lesser talent. Like some of this talent may not be here. Can you show me how you can make Kalen Carson better? Show me why. Or do we need to go get his replacement? You know what I mean?
Let's just start with line one. Be good enough at your job that the head coach / offensive play caller doesn't have to keep coming into your meetings.
Facts.
Can we have that? Can we start out there?
You on one today, John.
Yeah.
Start there.
You on one today. And
actually, I'll tell you this, Foots. And look, we had a nice little fun debate the other day. I think Flores and Will McClay could cook, though. I think as a combination, because at the end of the day, you just said it. The guy that's coming in is going to ask for a certain type of grocery, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what Will's done the last 4 defensive coordinators. He has to keep on going to different grocery stores because he got to be different coordinators. He can't just stay at Costco's and get a bulk deal or none of that. He has to go to different grocery stores because they say, hey, I don't shop here. I don't shop at Food Line or Giant or Costco's or BJ's or wherever, Sam's Club. I shop here. And then Steven will say, yeah, but we shop at Dollar General. So go make it happen here at Dollar General. And now next thing you know, you eating some TV dinner that ain't good for you.
Yeah. Eating box.
I got this crazy feeling, man. I could just see them two in there just excited because they could be on the same page type thing.
And John said it, Sky, if I get my safety, I'll do a backflip. I'll throw egg on my face if we get a safety.
Come on with the egg. Yeah, come on with it.
I see our boy over there, Cowboys boss, that McClay can't cook no more. I like I said, it's fair criticism, but I don't think McClay is the chef. I think he's the Uber Eats driver. He's being told what to go get at a certain price range. I would love if they just said, Will, you full-blown general manager, meaning you deal with contracts, you deal with trades, you draft who you want to draft, you hire the coach you want to hire, and if it don't work out, we can fire him. He doesn't have the autonomy right now. So he's being asked to kind of be the buffer, and it's a weird spot because it's a cushy job for him, but we praise him when it's a good draft and then we crap on him when it's not. And it's like probably too far left and right in general.
And to be fair, I had to, when I listened back to the show, I gotta use complete context. I know Will McClay wasn't responsible for drafting Luke Schoonmaker. And so those are the things where like
perfect example. I don't think Will would have drafted Kelvin Joseph, Luke Schoonmaker, Sam Williams types. I don't.
Yeah, can I Luke for sure. Go ahead, John.
I was just scrolling through the chat, and there's a comment about Flores' system is being more complicated. Do we know that these guys this year were taught on an elite level? How does Brian Flores teach it? Like, I keep going back
to he rep it?
Who has played well. Give me the player.
Right.
Where is the Sean Lee? Where you're like, that guy knows the system.
Right.
You know who that guy is for them?
Sanborn.
Murray.
Oh, Murray.
Yeah.
So, like, who is the guy that? I mean, I keep going back to this. There isn't. I don't know if I've ever covered, not just this team. I don't know if I've ever covered a player that's more soft-spoken than Deron Bland. And when he was talking about how he's like, we'd like to play a little bit more man. And that was it. And just kept going to like another whatever. And I was just like, it was one of those where like,
we talked about that here.
Deron Bland said this. Hold on. Rewind that back real quick. So I'm just going back to the defense. I'm like, okay, well, who did play well? Just nobody can be taught. Like, take yourself back to high school. Take yourself back to high school.
Yeah.
The whole class is failing. That's
I'm gonna make the
whole class is terrible.
That, John.
Everybody's awful in here. It's not the teacher. It's just the whole class. Okay, gotcha.
Foots, I want to hear your stance on this because you're a coach, right? And you can come from Bill Belichick's system, but you can't teach it like Bill. You end up like Matt Patricia.
Yep.
But if Flores can teach it like Bill, you end up like Flores.
I was just I
see that.
What I was about to say was that you just took the words out of my mouth. That's crazy. It's crazy how me and Scott button heads can get us back home. So listen, but in all seriousness, John just threw the alley-oop. So I think that they're probably listening to Flus like, well, who legendary? Oh, the Colts. I don't know. But when you listen to Brian Flores, he's like, hey, listen, we did this against Sean McVay and the best offense ever. And I was on that staff, and this is how it works. When you're getting these calls, this is what we're going to do. We're going to rob this. He's historically been great against the McVay systems. What's taking over the league? McVay, Ben Johnson, all those, under center play action, Sky. You love it. It's back. It's in vogue. The good offenses are getting under center, and they're taking those middle hole shots. What does Brian Flores take away? That stuff with his safeties, with the way he plays on the back end. So it's different when you have a guy who said, listen, I'm going to show y'all better than I can tell you. Right. This is the film. This is what we did against this. If you don't want to do it, I'm going to get somebody in here who can. And I think and Flores matches more than anything. He matches Brian Schottenheimer's swag. I just don't think that you can have the staff the way that Shotty wants to coach it. I don't think you can have a staff where it's like these guys are up, energy, whoop, and then it's like Matt Eberflus off in the corner. And mind you, we went through this. There are players. There are coaches that players don't like. Cool,
right?
But I don't think this team can. This team needs as much unification as possible because it's been so many years. The players need to believe now, John Sky.
Yeah. You can have a coach that infuses energy, and there's a couple people that don't like him. But can he infuse that energy on my entire group? I can care less. I've been there before. I've played for coaches that I did not like, but I understand that, they are good for this unit or good for this side of the ball or whatever. Good for this team in general, for sure. So I don't think Flus is that type of guy. And from what I hear about Flores, even coming out of Miami, everybody liked Flores.
He was right just early on too.
But you're going to respect what he can do on the defensive side. But now he was a head coach, so a little different. But you're going to respect what he can do defensively. And I just really think that's going to be the case wherever he goes. I know this is
that's going to be where it's going to be. Mm-hmm.
I mean, John. Money talks, y'all. I mean, they don't have a chance.
Open it up.
I want you guys when we get around to it to educate me more on Jim Leonard. He's the one that I really don't know.
I got study on him. Denver guy.
Yeah. I've seen his name float around. You guys know, hey, we'll talk college football after we do the read, but I mean,
you just told everybody watch the Indiana guy.
Hey, and you see what he did today still.
Yo.
What they did to Alabama was, DeBoer might not make it off the plane. Alabama don't get blown out like that. So we'll do the read, come back for the second half of the show. Almost 500 people here on New Year's Day.
Shout out to you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code HMA. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Sleeper. Thank you guys for sponsoring this channel. Use code HMA. Thank you, Sleeper. We love you. Make sure you guys are using that code HMA. It helps the channel. It lets them know that, lets the higher up know that, these guys are pushing it. And I use Sleeper. Me and Sky talk about Sleeper. Hey, play this offline, all that. Law, I want to ask you, we'll start with you. And we'll leave the last 5 minutes of the show for the college football stuff. But I want to start with you. Is there anybody who can help themselves in this game?
Man, there's one answer.
Oh my gosh, they can help themselves. Mingo, man, come on, man.
Okay,
let Mingo have a Miles Austin type of game, or to a degree, what we've seen out of my guy Ryan Flournoy. If Mingo can shine, then that can probably strengthen a trade value or something of saying, hey, look what he looks like when the quarterback can get him the ball. So I think that this game could be the Mingo Bowl, something like
Mingo.
that. Yeah,
I was not thinking about him. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The way Flournoy played this year is what it is. He had the very best wide receiver probably. For me, it's one guy. Because we said this a couple weeks ago. There's like nothing that can happen for me that really matters. But there's one guy that it could matter for this coaching staff and maybe front office. Jaden Blue. That's okay. Yeah. That's the guy, man. He hasn't really played much this year at all. Earlier in the season, a couple carries. Didn't hit the signature big play. I think one time got called back. But if he has a breakout game, that will be good for a guy like Shotty to know and see and feel good about, but probably for the higher ups too, because they really, and I'll be a part of this. I thought Blue was going to have a pretty solid part of his offense. I really did think he was going to have a good role, and to not see it was interesting. So if he can come out and just show the traits, I really don't need a 120-yard game. He can have 7 carries, 60 yards. One of them is a 35-yard touchdown where he shows the traits. That'll probably do it for Shotty and in the front office, but it has to be Jaden Blue.
Scott, can I put a counter on that just a little bit? Even if he do, just last week, Malik Davis had a hell of a game, right? would that be a situation? Do you erase what Malik Davis can do, or do you sit back and say, well, now I got two of them? Or what if Malik Davis shined in this game? Would that really?
So what's different for me is that Malik been around for 5 years. And I don't think, and I like Malik Davis. I don't think he has a special trait like Jaden Blue, where if Blue can showcase that special trait of his elite speed, top end speed, playmaking ability that he showed in college, I think you can, if you're Shoddy or if you're Jerry, you can say, that's what we were looking for. We're excited for that next year. Just don't let it be the reason you don't take a running back, though. Like, don't let that be the reason.
Right.
Look for
John.
Jaden Blue is very high on my list, no doubt about it. Joe Milton is very high on my list because I think that you're going to see at least a half, maybe more from him. And I think he'll be out there with like Mingo and Jalen Tolbert. Like, I don't think it'll be bad. You know, I think he'll have some guys out there where he'll be able to put up some numbers. Who else am I thinking about? I still don't believe that Maris Leafau wasn't a good football player. So
you've been standing on that, John.
Yeah, maybe he shows up in this game, whatever. He's one of the guys that I'm most looking forward to with a new DC to see what they can get out of him. Another guy who I think is still got something left or to growth left is Brevin Spanford in the passing game. Like, I mean, I think as blocking wise and all they know what he is, but I think he could become an even better pass catcher. I will say, Jake Ferguson, I don't know why he would need to play in this game, but he was upgraded today from not practicing to being limited. So I was like, all right, like when we were out there today, he was just doing the resistance chords, which is what he's been doing for the last couple of days. And so I'm like, oh, his season's probably done. You know, why bring him back out there? But then when they upgraded him to limited, I'm like, all right, maybe he's going to try and play just the beginning or whatever. But Spanford to me is the one where I can see there's still something there for him to improve. So he would probably be the other one. I'm just looking at like the depth chart right now, and I look at like defense. There's just not a lot of guys there that, like Reddy Stewart, Triquez Bridges, Kalen Carson, like some of them. I guess if they had like a good game or something like that, like one of those type of corners. We haven't gotten anything definitive on potentially elevating Josh Butler, so I don't think that will happen. But if it did, I'd like to see where he's at health wise and what he could do. But the defense doesn't have a ton of guys.
By the way. Interesting.
The defense just doesn't have a ton of guys. I look at them just like I don't know. Like, is there anything that would happen in that game that would make you like think differently of Sam Williams, or Jadeveon Clowney, or Kenny Clark or Osa or Quinnen Williams? Like
Wilson.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of know.
Sam a free agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys resigning Sam Williams?
No.
I wouldn't say never. I mean, I got to know a price, Yeah. But if you can get them for,
I'm kind of
deal with incentives.
I don't know.
They're just the only reason I'm saying is just because they're very thin at the end.
Let me ask you this. Cowboys, when they like you, they really do like you. They hold on to you. Like, for example, Peyton Turner, they held on to him all year. Didn't see the reasoning there. And Josh Butler, that's my guy, but they really never activated him. And
the weirdest situation.
Ever. Yeah, but they really love him. They really like those two guys. Like very young.
How old is Josh Butler?
I think he's pushing 30, which is interesting because he played in different leagues and stuff like. I didn't realize that till I looked it up last year. Like he's older than I thought. Like 29, maybe somewhere around there.
Yeah, I thought he was a little Asian. So the blue thing is interesting because I missed on him too. I thought he would be much better than this, and I think a lot of this is
thought he'd be used.
They're
not even using him.
But Scott, that tells me that he don't know what he's doing.
Has to be.
If he can't get on the field, he doesn't know what he's doing, guys. So I mean, right? I think that the ability is there, Law.
Yeah,
but
true.
Pass pro. But like Scott said, he has a trait that. All right, so my thought to make this offense truly unstoppable, because it is a great offense, but unstoppable. We've talked about this a lot, Sky. I think that we saw as the year went on, Javonte, I won't say wore down, but it just became, he's getting what he can get. He's ramming it in there. He'll bust off a few runs. But you can see that,
that was great.
All I asked.
Ramming it in there.
Whoa.
Bust off.
Fouled off by bust. That's great.
Go ahead. Combination of words, diabolical.
That's crazy. But he also, it was just times you like, Javonte, if you had that second runner who could come in, carry the load, and like, pause that, load, carry.
Just keep going. Just go.
No,
make it worse. Keep going. You gotta go. You gotta push through these things, man. You thought that it could be, and people are like, well, don't take it back, man. Running back is a need. Because they have to re-sign Javonte. He's not on the team next year.
True.
Just so people know.
There was times during Javonte's great games, you saw like, bro, he needs a running mate.
Yeah, he do.
He just does because there's certain things he just can't do. That's not his style. So you're right. I mean, but again, yes, we want to see Blue do X, Y, Z, but I don't need it to be a reason why you don't look for a legitimate, solution at running back, because I don't know if Javonte is really it unless you pair him with a legitimate two that can take over for him. Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. We'll probably get here.
Right.
If I'm bringing back Javonte Williams, y'all, I know y'all might hate me for this. I'm bringing him back on another 1-year deal.
Yeah.
I'm just not committing. I'm not committing 3 years to Javonte. I'm sorry.
Is your RB2, huh? Or he'll be RB1?
He'll be my insurance.
If you bring Javonte Williams back, sure, you would have to look at drafting a running back as early as the 4th.
I want to draft a running back better.
Yeah. And I think you could possibly get one or hit free agency. Now, I don't know what's in free agency. I will have to take a look at it. But the interior of your offensive line is good. I think it's going to get better. The run schemes are good, but he needs a running mate for sure.
Yeah.
So Blue was definitely the one for me. Now we talk about players who may not be on the team. It's our last topic, surprise cuts.
Yeah.
And obviously this would be, we kind of leaned into it. It wouldn't be a cut for, I was about to say, it wouldn't be a cut for Sam Williams, I don't think, because he doesn't have a contract. He's a free agent.
Who would be the most likely surprise cut on him?
They wouldn't be surprises, but I could see like a Terrence Steele, and then I could see them doing something where, I don't know if it would be a traditional cut, but I could see them doing something with Kenny Clark, maybe, where they try and bring him back on like
that's good
manageable deal. Because like Osa's not going.
They couldn't move his money. I guess not, right? They might be able to. I haven't looked over his contract like that, but I just see where it feels. Not to cut you off, John. The temperature feels like they want Kenny Clark in this building.
Yeah,
they are raving about his leadership. I feel like Kenny Clark wants to be here.
Yeah,
so
no doubt. There's nobody. I'm just going through the whole defense right now. There's nobody at linebacker that you'd be like, wow, I can't believe they cut that guy. What linebackers played well? They're not cutting DeMarvion Overshown. I don't believe that they're cutting Maris Leofau. So what linebackers played on that level? I don't see them cutting Hooker or Donovan Wilson.
I think Bell is my. If we had to do surprise, it'd be Bell. And the only reason why I say surprise is because they just signed him, and I don't know that Bell. I don't know how good a safety he can be. He just hasn't been a safety really here much.
There's no corners. I go over the offense. The only offensive lineman, like I said, was Terrence Steele. Tight ends. I know fans will say something about Schoonmaker, but
that ain't surprised.
But I still think that they'll keep him because I think they think of him as a solid player and not as a second-round pick guy. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was back. And then there's not really a surprise cut at wide receiver, and there's not a surprise cut at running back. And I don't see Dak or Joe Milton going anywhere. So there's really not a lot.
Terrence Steele, damn, it's me. I'm the only
and that's
surprise.
Not even a surprise, right?
How much money they say? 10, 5?
I think they said a good chunk. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's a pretty good chunk if they move on from Terrence. But I'm be honest, y'all. I'm about spending money also on offensive line and free agency because they don't do it. But I was looking for solutions, and not a lot. There's some left tackles that make sense if you wanted to move them to right or if y'all want to move Guyton over there if you think that's going to be the solution. But there's not a whole lot there from a right tackle standpoint, unless you're paying some money for Rasheed Walker. Your boy.
My boy. I think he'd be a nice name. He's not the best as far as Like they've been trying to replace him in Green Bay for sure. Their draft will tell you that, but he just won't come off the field, and he stays healthy as a dog. I would love to have him. We get exclusives every week for sure. Now I will say this, John, I disagree at safety, bro. Here's why.
They're gonna finally do it. They're gonna get
well, okay. Well, if we bring in a new DC, you just said that's why it's all contingent.
That might have been me
fast.
trying to sell hope.
I'm getting excited because either I'm drafting one and we'll talk about him this last 5 minutes because you had the game, John, or like, bro, are we going to ask this new DC to come in and change guys that we haven't seen play well? Because then we're going now in circles again, right? Like, I'm not asking Donovan Wilson any longer to play on the roof or do these things. Or
I ain't bringing him back.
You know what I mean, Scott? Like now we talking, and Bell got to go, and all these other guys got to go. Like defense, it's because you cannot ask the greatest defensive coordinator to change some of these faults. Donovan Wilson was a 6th round pick who's had a great career, but it's looking like
Woods for you now at this point, you know?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a surprise, but I think that's the one for me, John, where I love Donovan Wilson. Tackles, dude, but he's limited. Like that's the best way to put it. And it shows on defense. You know,
well, he's a free agent anyway, but
so okay, he is. Okay, so he's a free agent. I didn't know that.
Malik would be the one you'd have to cut.
Donovan wasn't a free agent. I thought it feels like he just got that deal.
With Malik, you were
got in 23 or 20 money 23? 24, 25, yeah.
I think what they can do with Malik, they probably restructure. Spread it out.
You know the crazy thing about Malik?
You got $9 million. You got $9 million if you cut. Dead money.
Really? You know the crazy thing about Malik?
No, I looked that up today. You saved $7 million by cutting Malik Hooker.
He's never healthy, Lord.
Yeah, here it is right here. You saved.
Let me see. See what you got.
You saved $7 million, and it's only like $2 million in debt.
Oh wow!
Yep. And no matter what you do, so whether it's pre 6-1 or post 6-1, which I would just do it immediately. $7 million, 2026 savings. So yeah, I would move on. I don't know what the point would be. Not knocking him. It's just
no.
It's time to move on. The safety room is not it.
Safety room is not it. There we go. Speaking of a safety, I don't know if you guys were able to catch the Cotton Bowl yesterday. But I was gonna ask you guys, and this will be our one draft topic because we got a lot of time to talk draft. Remember this time last year, John? We were talking about Ashton Genty and who and the what and the.
Well, let's do it again. We can talk about Jeremiah Love right now and how we're all thinking they're gonna go defense, and he's just sitting right there.
I want to ask you, John, because you were there, and I want to ask all you other brothers. Do you guys, when you're evaluating a player, does big games matter for you all? And how they this has been a question floating around the community.
I think that's fair assessment. I don't think you should lean on one thing in general, but I think you do have to take that into account. Maybe especially for quarterbacks, right? I think that's maybe the biggest one there. I saw your post. I find it fascinating because do we hold that same thought to a linebacker or to a defensive end? And because that's tough, right? Quarterback, it feels like, yeah, of course. Receiver, if you're under the bright lights, you're fumbling, things like that. But yeah, I think so. I think you gotta add that into the many things you look at when you look at these prospects coming out. But I don't think one thing should be end all be all.
I use a combination of everything, but I don't dismiss small schools, but I would say big time games and big moments. Yes, how you play in those games means everything. And that's why I said with the Cowboys, it's kind of odd that they don't draft more from the SEC. They don't have more of their scouting guys in the South. I think that they need to have more visuals of that particular aspect, because here's the reason why. The Cowboys are going to always play on the biggest and the brightest of the stage. And if you fool around and draft a guy from a small school, he's not used to the flashing of the lights, the big time moments, he can crumble. So there's no shade or knock at Jalen Tolbert, and to a degree, Siobhan Revel, but we're going to wait to see how this is going to all transfer down the stretch. Can these guys show up in big time moments in big time games when it's really everything on the line?
It's funny because I think there's a quote where McClay actually talks about this at one point. He was not a fan of drafting the small school guy. He talked about wanting to draft in from bigger schools because we saw the lack of success doing the opposite. Matt Johnson, JJ Wilcox, during that weird 2010 to 2013 timeframe, they were drafting like that. Then it stopped. And then it picked back up, right? You go get Jalen Tolberts of the world, other schools. What's my man? The long offensive lineman. Well, let's go.
Well, let's
and then we start Jabril Cox, but Jabril Cox came from LSU, went to so that's a little different. But so he went back to it. So I do wonder, like, who is making that decision? And again, like you said, Laura, nothing against the small school guys,
right? But
it does make me go, why do we ignore the SECs, the Georgias, the Alabamas, etc.? When there's a team in our division that has a full team of Georgia Bulldogs.
The only thing I'll say about that, though, is that there is a little bit of when those same guys are at those same Georgias, Alabamas, whatever, Ohio State's defense, certainly this year, where you're playing around a bunch of other studs, and it's just kind of like, what he is right now on Saturdays, that's maxed out. He's reached his peak. Like,
chances,
it's like, and that's fine. But I'm saying that I think there's a little bit more projecting when you come from maybe a little bit of a smaller school where you're like, man, like I'm thinking the first one I always think of obviously is like a DeMarcus Ware coming from Troy or something like that, where you're like, oh, maybe this would be a little bit different if he was in the NFL playing with like pro guys around him all the time. I think it just makes it harder for them to project. But like, I don't think there's a better example in the NFL right now than Josh Allen. I mean, that Wyoming tape, like you're going to go off of that.
Some coaching though.
Yeah.
Right. Like
that's fair.
He was like, I think we might have missed this one. And then they coached him up to chill out a little bit. Now he's probably going to go to Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But I think the Cowboys marvel at that, though. The Miles Austins, the Tony Romos are finding guys, whether they drafted or undrafted, from the smaller schools, and they can stand tall and say, look what we can do, though. If we do it.
And I promise you, this year you just can't do that. Not this year.
Come on, yeah.
They just did it with Savon Ravel too, on top of being an injured guy, by the way. So that was double whammy.
Come on, still. That's what I mean. Like
the one thing I will say about Savon Ravel.
And I think we think he's gonna be good.
We think he's gonna be good.
And Tyler Smith, in the era that we're in right now at college football, you say that they're at those schools, but my man's not staying at Tulsa that following year. If he didn't get
he wasn't.
Tyler
he was going to Bama
down for Alabama's offensive line.
I think Tyler wanted to. Yeah, there you go. Tyler wanted to move.
I know he got to play at Florida State, but like Jared Verse could have went to the NFL from Albany. And
that's right,
but now he ended up playing a couple years, obviously, at Florida State. But like, it helps. Don't get me wrong, but I also think like Savon Ravel probably he could have played at one of those schools. You know what I'm saying? Like his size.
It's the top guy from those schools. They're not
getting
the guy, 6th round guy. They're getting Tyler Smith is the top guy. Savon is the top guy. What's my man who's having a fantastic year in Seattle? Another offensive lineman.
You're talking about I know you're talking about
top first round graded guy. Kenyon Mitchell, small school first round graded guy. So if you're getting the top of the top, DeMarcus Ware, all fine and dandy. But if you're going to reach at that point, if you're going to take Nahshon Wright in the 3rd round,
come on.
Let me ask y'all this.
Bled came from a small school, didn't he?
Fresno State, but 5th round though. I don't consider that a reach.
He actually came from another one too. He was at Sacramento State first.
Sacramento State, so But when you go to top 3 premium picks, it's like,
come on.
If you ain't taking the top dude, then we need to go pick from the best of the best.
Yeah.
So I framed this. I'm glad. So we had a good conversation. I'm glad you saw my tweets because I know the draft community is going to start dinging Sonny Styles for his game yesterday. I just know how it works. And he had a few plays where it wasn't great. He did have a tackle for loss. And even Arvell Reese wasn't like amazing. But there were 2 defenders, Johnny. You were in the building that absolutely took over the game. In Ruben Bain and Caleb Downs. Now, I have them as far as those games yesterday. I have Bain 1. But just the way I saw it, John, and you were in the building, I was going to ask you, Caleb Downs literally was playing at a different speed than everyone else, because you said it, I'm glad you brought that up. How do you look great on a great defense, but he was playing faster than everybody else on that Ohio State defense, in my opinion. I want to ask you, did it look like that in person to you?
Yeah, no, he's an absolute stud. That still, though, took a backseat to me, to that entire front from Miami. And obviously
You think so, John?
Yeah, that front had what's his name? Saying kid just completely rattled right from the beginning. I mean, and the thing too is he was so rattled that it was like, when you watch the NFL all the time, a guy takes a sack, he might lose 7-8 yards. My man was losing like 10, 15 yards. I mean, he had nothing. He couldn't get anything going. But I thought Bain was just insane.
So you have Bain as the best player on the field yesterday.
I mean, it probably is. Downs, don't get me wrong. He can do everything. I mean, he's back there with punts. He can do everything. So
I got to go back and watch that game, man. Yeah.
What he does is more unique. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if you can get Ruben Bain on this Dallas Cowboys defense, I think you try and do that. But I would love Caleb Downs too. I mean, I'm not, and even Reese and what's his name?
I love.
Yeah,
Reese.
they weren't great, but like all those guys, like there was probably, I don't know, that Francis Magawa or whatever, the right tackle, I think was Miami. Yeah, like he was good. Like,
aren't we winning our way out of Downs right now though?
We definitely are winning our way out of Downs.
You
win this game, you get to 18, you're cooked.
I don't think they have a chance at Bain either, though.
Yeah.
But you know what, John? If you lose, you will have a chance at Reese. I just got that feeling.
Yeah.
Because the conversation, remember the conversation last year around the Atlanta kid who's playing well, Sky? Remind me of his name, Walker. It's like, where does he play? And is he off ball? Is he a 3-4 backer? Is he an end? But we said, me and Sky, when I did your show, I was like, man, he's just a football player. Let him play forward. Same type of stuff with Reese.
And to me, the best player on the field is Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Jeremiah Smith play all day long. Like that amazing player, man. Like I can't wait to see him. I just hope he gets on a team where it's not a Marvin Harrison Jr. situation where you're just like, well, can you get this guy a quarterback? Because I think Jeremiah Smith he's probably, to me, as can't miss as anyone since probably, I don't know, like Jamar Chase, I'd be stunned if he doesn't have a good NFL career.
Oh, Smith is going to be Julio Jones' top 3. Now, I'm going to end with this, guys. If I told you, Steele, Law, and John, that there was a player you could trade up for in this defense and he hits 2 needs, would you do it?
How the hell is he doing that? Yes.
Yes, Sky. Yes, John.
Let's do it.
And you would get rid of. We would come off another first-round pick or whatever, maybe a second from next year or whatever. But he hits 2 needs.
Remember, that was my question a few weeks ago because I said, "Look, y'all are tapped in right now. Is there a player in this draft that we can go or trade up for, or multiple? Actually, what I said that would change this defense immediately. If there's not, then it's tough to do that because you can't guarantee you're going to get that guy. So if there's that guy,
to the comment of the day, and I'm gonna let you guys go because I get.
Yeah, you got to do the super chats.
We got supers. Oh, we got one. Okay. This is where I'm at with how I studied Downs earlier on, Sky, and I know once you get to the film, you'll watch, and everybody here will. When I watch Caleb Downs, y'all, I know I comped him to Brian Branch. He's better, bro. He is, and because what he can do in the box and then in coverage, as far as like. He caused 2 fumbles. That hasn't been done, I think they said, in like 50 years. He caused 2 fumbles. There was one drive, he had like 5 tackles on the drive. And if I tell you, Scott, on first and second down, you could play him down around the box, and on third down, you could put him back on the roof, and he could be a player that could take away the team's best tight end or just rob people or do some of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Because I've been deprived of that type of safety play from my whole Dallas Cowboys fandom post Darren Woodson. Then that's my favorite player of all time on defensive side is Darren Woodson. And I haven't obviously Roy Williams had some years, but
and salute to Ken Hamlin 1 year. But go ahead.
Man, get him up out of here. But he did have that 1 year, got paid too.
That 1 year.
He got paid off that year.
Yeah.
But yes, because I had this conversation with 2i on the show. I think safety gets disrespected. I think if you have one of them Kyle Hamilton types, man, the Branch types, like the Matthew types, they do so much for your defense. They can literally do 3-level stuff for you that is really hidden because sometimes
Matthew
they make a play that's not
the
a play
great
being made.
For him, Sky.
You know what I'm saying? Like they can cut off a route You won't see it on the stat sheet, but because of their smarts. Now, obviously, if you're Ed Reed and Palomalo, you see it.
Yeah.
But man, give me a guy that can do that. I'll trade up for him.
John?
I wouldn't be giving up both ones or anything like that, but
not both.
I could trade up with a future pick for sure. I mean, I would love it. I agree with everything that Sky said. That it's been too long since they've had a player like that. Yeah. It would be about what do they have to give up, because they do need multiple players to fix it.
And that's the hard part, John. That's the hard part.
Hey.
How much? I mean, what about you, Law? Would you move up?
Boy, winning this game is gonna be crazy this weekend. So
they're gonna beat the Giants, man.
Hell yeah, man. But I'll move up to get somebody that I know for sure, who can help.
If you're in 13, 14, you're in striking distance.
If
you're at 18, no. And they can fall all the way back there.
I think Jeremiah Love can be a guy that can help the defense out, believe it or not, even though he's a running back. Time of possession.
No, I get what you're saying. This is
Elliott
effect.
I would definitely go that angle.
You would go running back, Law?
I'll go RB. I'll go RB if he's there. And then we was talking about the matching up of him and Javonte Williams.
And just sit on the ball. On the ball.
Yeah,
I think they'll talk themselves out of it as long as everything gets done with Pickens, because they'll talk themselves into. You put Pickens on one side, CD on the other. With Dak where he's at in his career, we can find another running back veteran that we can put back. I'm telling you, I can tell, especially with other needs on defense.
Yeah,
if their offense didn't perform as well as it did, or maybe instead of having Pickens, their number 2 receiver was a little bit of a step down, I could see them being like, we need more juice on this offense. I don't care. We'll use a high first-round pick. I just think that there's just so many holes in the defense that they'll talk themselves out of that.
Let me tell you something right now. We got to find a different term, Foots. There's no such thing as sitting on the ball with CD Lamb, George Pickens, Dak Prescott, Jeremiah Love. Like, that's not possible.
That sounds crazy.
It's not possible. They all can take it to, well, obviously Dak can't run, but they all can take it to the crib from anywhere on the field. There's no sitting on the ball.
I would love that.
I like what you did there, Law. I like that you planned your fact. Now, here's what I'm gonna say, John. This is gonna be and I'll talk with Sky about it. The draft picks that you draft have to have pedigree, and they have to. You better identify guys who can come in and play this position now.
Now ready.
Mic drop, John. Yeah. If that means that you pass on a corner to get the DN that can play now, I'm with it. But this class, more than ever, these 2 first-round picks, there is no easing them in, Law.
Yeah. Tristan Hill, Mozzie Smith.
I was just about to say.
Let's get to the chats, because John, why you do that to me, Scott?
But that's the messed up part about it, bro. Is that they don't the rookies don't even got room for error. We don't have time for draft and develop. How? When you got about 2-3 year window with your quarterback, you need draft and play now. Damn it,
now
and make a difference.
Yeah, you're right, Law. I mean, you're right. Still, you're spot on. What a great show, guys. Man, what a banger. I think so. Next week we'll be going to 1 day a week. Let me talk to the people. I don't want to put that out there without putting it out there. I guess I did put it out there, but the season is when the season it gets slow. I know I'm be leaning on Sky for topics. And I guess
we could probably slap it right in the middle, like a Wednesday. What y'all scheduling look like?
I don't know. I don't know how we'll talk behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I do know when we get some of these hires and stuff like that, there'll still be news.
I think once the season's over, we'll have enough news to where we can carry a little bit. But if they move slow, then shit, we gonna be sitting here like, how about that 3rd round? What it look like?
I'll be head down to Senior Bowl, so I'll get y'all shows from there every day. So that'll be cool. And obviously the draft stuff, but I don't even think this team can just live solely on the draft, and that's the thing about it. Jackavelli, given our history with her guys, y'all like Jermiah McCoy from Tennessee in the draft? I do like Jermiah McCoy. I don't know if you guys are watching him, but I do like Jermiah McCoy. He's more of a man-specific corner than me. I'm more of a Mansour Delane guy, but it's been 12 months since he's got Mansour.
Mansour Delane is what a name.
He has a brother, Sky. They're both from the DMV. He has a brother named Fahim Delane that plays at Ohio State. He plays safety. Funniest thing, Sky. After Ohio State left, like 3 5-stars. Lost 3 5-stars hit the transfer portal literally while they were still doing the college football so whack. Literally while they were doing the presentations, it was like, I'm getting all these updates. Oh, such and such is leaving Ohio State. I'm like, these kids are crazy. They're texting their agents and their moms.
Different game now, bro.
Yeah.
Totally different game.
And the thing is with McCoy, the injury thing, that's the only thing.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I Skywalker Steele don't have time for the injury thing.
No knees.
The Cowboys y'all might, and that's all fine and dandy. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I'm just get dudes that come here and can play.
Yeah, but that Delane is crazy, man. They don't even target his way. He had played like 5 games, only like 4 targets, man. So they
I think that with the Delane law, I'm gonna be honest. I want to see if the Cowboys like his measurables. I want to see how tall he is. They have a type at outside corner, and
he don't look 6'1". They got him.
No, he does. You know what I mean, Law? He doesn't. He doesn't, and they have a type. So
we'll see when we do draft talk, we go overtime.
Hey, John giving us the look. I gotta go. No,
D'Angelo Pons, baby.
No, you know what I'm really doing right now? I'm literally, because you said that about Delane. I'm looking at best like football names, and so because for me, my favorite football name, I love Lathan Ransom. I just always thought Ransom was a badass name, like especially for a safety. I thought Ransom's a great name. But honestly, I think Bakari Rambo.
Yeah. I like Rock Ya-Sin.
Rock Ya-Sin's a good name. Yeah.
Rock was fired. Delaware or Delaware State. One of them.
Wasn't it Connecticut? No.
Yeah.
Rock Ya-Sin. I can't be thinking somebody else.
You said Kentucky?
Connecticut. I thought he went to
Connecticut. No. Are you thinking of? I don't know. You know, Boss Man Fat is a cool name. No,
come on, bro. Wrap this thing up, bro.
We've done enough.
See,
I snuck that one in there, Scott. Snuck that one in there, Scott.
Hey, Terrell, baby, Colts and Hood. Y'all look up those guys, man.
Yeah, Terrell's brother is good. His brother AJ. Hey, you guys have a great weekend. Hey, listen. Season came and went. Literally the last game. Enjoy it. Root for Joe Milton. Listen, I want the Joe Milton preseason experience, John. Maybe a few rockets.
Yeah.
And then
start Dak, keep his little whatever streak, whatever, and get Joe's ass right in there.
Man.
Hey, Scott. Him and Brevin Spanford just putting up Spanford's 150 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Give me the Blake Jarwin versus Giants game with Joe Milton on Sunday, please.
Give me like 3 bombs. I know for sure Joe Milton in the game with George Pickens, man. I just want to see just 3 Hail Marys on just throw it.
Because we won't win that way, Law.
I know.
I want him throwing over the middle. I want to pick or 2.
Hey, first now.
If we win this game, when I say I want the Joe Milton
let's go, man. Right?
Buddy.
I don't know.
I want a few interceptions.
Okay.
we didn't win
hour,
Joe Milton.
20 minutes.
Interceptions from my
All right, man. Come on, get out of here, man.
All right, love y'all, man. Talk to y'all boys later. Peace.
All right, remember.
Hello.